recap of what we read about yesterday with Elisha. June?
I was just going to ask, can I go to the bathroom?
Yes, you may. Thank you for asking. Abe, what did we read about yesterday?
The guy went into the water, the dirty water.
Not quite. That was a few days ago or last week, but yesterday. There was a king.
Oh,
the king
gorgeous.
of Syria.
Oh,
Tirza?
1, 2, 3.
Oh, thank you. Tirza? Do you remember? Let me give you a hint. There was a bunch of plans that were being created for something.
What?
Yeah.
What? And the plan didn't work 3 times.
Yes.
Oh, well,
Why?
Because, the prophet of the Lord was helping them, and Jesus was hiding it away from the king.
Jesus? Say that last part? Yeah, the prophet. Yeah. So Elisha knew. How did Elisha know? Was Elisha just a super smart guy? So he knew in his own brain that
God too.
God told Elisha, and then Elisha told the king of Israel, right? So the king of Syria was so confused. Why aren't my plans not working? It's like they know what we're saying in secret. Well, does God hear everything that happens in secret?
Yes.
Yes. So God was telling Elisha. And at first, the king of Syria, he thought, oh, you want to come in, Jim? He thought that maybe someone was betraying him, right? And telling the king of Israel what was happening, but that was not the case. Okay, let's keep reading. You can put your head down if you want, or you can just listen. And then we'll color up the picture after. Slowly, Willow, can you just close the door behind you, honey? Please and thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Please and thank you.
Slowly, dawn appears in the east. It is still very early in the morning. Most of the people living in Dothan are still asleep. The servant of Elisha is already up. He opens the door of the house and walks outside. In terror, so this terror means you're like really, really scared. Okay, you're not just like a little scared, you're like really scared. You're terrified. Okay? So in terror, he stands still and stares into the valley with a really scared expression on his face. Now, you must know that Dothan was built upon a mountain. From this mountain, everyone who was on top could see far in all directions. Because it was so high that if you looked around, you can see what was happening all around you. The servant of Elisha looks about in this early morning hour, and what he saw caused him to turn pale. So when you turn pale, you turn white. Yes, it just flushes all the color out of your face. And when you're very, very scared, you might turn pale. Okay? It is no wonder that this young man is so scared, because the entire mountain is encircled by a mighty army. So he's looking around and all this guy sees is army all over, everywhere. So encircled means you're like, it's all around you. Okay? So there's like no real way out. Okay? So he's terrified because he sees that there's no way we can get out of this. They're all around us. Yes, Dawson.
It's kind of like you're the mountain, and then like all the ants are on top of you, and then like we're the ones who like come stomping up.
Yeah, and they're just coming at you. Jordan B? Yes, you may. Thank you. Okay. They are the Syrians. He sees horses and chariots all around the city. It is impossible to get through them. They are lost. They are caught as a rat in a trap. Quickly, he returns into the house and calls for Elisha. "Master, oh master, what must we do?" he says while he's shaking. So he's so scared, he's pale, and he's shaking. He stares at his master helplessly, like he doesn't know what they're going to do. However, Elisha's not at all frightened by this news. He already knows what has happened. Why do you think Elisha already knows?
God told.
God told him. Yeah. He already knows what has happened. The Lord has made it known to him, so the Lord told him. Calmly he answers, "Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. We are not alone. We have mighty helpers." His servant looks at him in amazement. "With us there are more than with them? Huh?" And no one can be seen except the many soldiers. So he's looking around and he thinks, how on earth is there possibly more with us than there are with them? There's tons and tons of them. Who do we have? It's just me and you hanging out here.
God.
Exactly. What does Elisha mean? The servant cannot understand what he means. So Elisha sees the look on his face. So Elisha knows that his servant is very confused. Okay? So Elisha says to God, he says, "Lord, open the eyes of my servant so that he can see what I see." God answers his prayer. The Lord causes Elisha's servant to see exactly what Elisha was talking about. The entire mountain is covered with horses and chariots of fire. So who do you think that these horses and chariots of fire are? Sebastian?
God's army.
Yeah, God's army. Exactly. So do you think that the Syrians can see them?
No.
No. Elisha can see them, and now the servant of Elisha can see them. So Ben-Hadad sent a large army to capture Elisha, but Israel's God sent a heavenly host to protect his servant. This host of angels is between Elisha and the Syrians, so they are between them. Okay, so they're protecting Elisha. Therefore, Elisha is not afraid. And now that Elisha's servant also sees them, the fear leaves him too. So suddenly, he's not scared either. A little later, Elisha leaves his home and goes to the enemy. He again prays to the Lord. He asks, "Smite these people with blindness." So he wants them to be blind, but not their actual eyesight. They can still see, but there are certain things they won't be able to notice so much. The Lord answers Elisha's prayer. The Syrian soldiers see him coming, but they do not recognize him. So all of a sudden, they're here to capture Elisha, and Elisha's just walking over, and suddenly they don't recognize who he is. So that's the kind of blindness that we're talking about. Do you understand that? Yeah, okay. So they see him, but they don't recognize him. In a little while, Elisha stands by them. He says to them, "You are mistaken. Go with me. I will bring you to the man whom ye seek." Thankfully, the Syrians accepted the unexpected help. Elisha leads them, and he brings them into the center of Samaria. The strangeness of it is that the Syrians do not realize what's happening. They don't even realize where they are, what's happening around them. They don't know. I think they are a little bit confused. It is as if the Syrian soldiers are really blind, but they are not. They can see as usual, but they are not aware of the place where Elisha is bringing them. You still know, boys and girls, that the people who live in Sodom sought to harm Lot, but they could not find the door. They too were smited with blindness. So that's another example in the Bible where God used that type of blindness to protect his people. The same thing happened here. The Syrians see the roads, the trees, and the houses. To them, everything looks as usual. Still, Elisha stands still in the midst of Samaria, which is the capital of Israel, their enemy. "Now, open their eyes, Lord," Elisha asks. Suddenly, the Syrian soldiers see that they have walked right into a trap. The army of Israel, under the leadership of their king Joram, already has surrounded them. So now they see, right? So God opened their eyes again. How do you think that they feel? Isabel?
Sad.
Probably sad.
Or
Yep.
scared.
Or scared.
Or
Yep.
frightened.
Or frightened. Yep.
Oh, look at this. Uh-oh.
Yep. Grade ones, remember to put your hand up, please. Rebecca?
Angry.
Angry. Yeah, they're probably really angry. Dawson?
Terrified.
Terrified. Yep. Willow?
Very, very angry.
Very, very angry. Yep. Not a little angry. Not just when you're frustrated angry. This is like, oh boy, we're in trouble. Okay. So, sorry, where are we? Miss Sassy's always losing her spot because she gets chatting. Okay. Okay. Shall I smite them? Shall I smite them, father? Joram asked quickly. Why no, Elisha answered calmly. You must not slay them. Prepare a meal for them. Give them bread and water, and let them return to their own country. Soldiers whom you take as captives in battle are not slain by you, are they? Joram does as Elisha tells him. The Syrian soldiers eat and drink, then Joram tells them to go, or lets them go. Completely startled and ashamed, the Syrians leave the city of their enemies and return to their own land. There they tell what has happened to them. For the president of the band, I won't read that part. The Lord was very good to Joram. He had sent a great deal of patience with him. O Joram, forsake your sins and worship the Lord and him only. Even though it is true that Joram is not as wicked as his father Ahab and his brother Ahaziah, he worships the golden calves which Jeroboam, the first king over the kingdom of the 10 tribes, set up, and Dan and Bethel. It is true, Joram did not worship Baal. He even put away the image of Baal which his father Ahab had made, but he worships those terrible golden calves. The Lord blesses Joram in a special way. God is merciful towards him. So still, Joram was worshiping idols. Okay, so, grade ones, you can pull out your coloring pages, and we have about 5 minutes to color. So we'll line up to the bathroom, okay? Yes, grade one?
No, we forgot to take.
What grade before lunch?
We don't.